Trinity from Esoteria here, and we have seen Astra many, many times, but who you have not seen is this pretty girl. Mwah! That's my baby Doodles. She has been my kitty for quite some time. How long have I had you? Can we talk about it? Can we talk about it? Maybe? I think I have had her 10 years. Wow. And she was already like 4 or 5 when I got her, so she's kind of an old lady. And she decided that she was going to come up and visit me while I was eating my breakfast. So I was like, I haven't had her on the channel, so I better have her say hello. So I wanted to kind of talk about something today. Anyway, so thank you for the redirection, Faye. I wanted to talk with you about, let's say that you have a question that you need a specific answer for. And this is just good. Like doesn't necessarily just work on tarot, like divination purposes. This can be used for a couple of ways, but like I was talking with a friend last night and I was very confused as to which direction I was supposed to be going, because I've been divinely guided to be focusing on a spiritual business as well. And I've done a lot of work on that. But you know, anytime you are doing a spiritual business, unfortunately, usually you have to have another job. And so you're ending up working all of the time, you know, so you'll have your full-time job to pay the bills, and then you've got your spiritual business, you know, and the few lucky ones get to, you know, make a livable income. But most of us in the spiritual realm, you know, do this as a part-time gig, and that's perfectly fine. You know, would I love to do this full-time? Absolutely. But, you know, life is expensive, especially right now. And I actually was, talking with Spirit the other day, and Spirit was saying, you know, with all of the turmoil that's been going on and how expensive everything is, it will soon be in a place where not just the elderly, it'll be mass amounts of people who are having to decide between taking medication and eating. You know, the frivolous parts of life are kind of going to go out the window for the vast majority of us. And quite frankly, I think that that is kind of divinely guided, because you know, there have been a lot of haves and have-nots here in this country, and unfortunately, like the elderly, that's a decision that they have to make on a monthly basis. Unless they have been truly blessed and, you know, lived a life where not only did they... We've got 2 kitties who are very mad at one another for existing in the same room. They have, unless they have been blessed with not only the ability to generate a lot of income, but also been blessed with the fiscal responsibility and stuff that allows them to move forward in life in such a way where they can retire very comfortably. That is something that is, I mean, it's not very common. And, you know, I don't want to say that, you know, people who have those blessings are bad. They're not at all. You know, the wealthy are just, they just are blessed with finances. The regulars, I guess you could say, which is like most of us, you know, for us, life can be challenging financially. And so anyway, what I am seeing, just as I'm, you know, watching some documentaries about, you know, the upcoming implications of the Iran war and all of that jazz, I am seeing and this is not just me doing prophetic channeling. This is me being informed by economists who are saying that we're going to have a global food shortage. And I had been told about 3 years ago that the meek shall inherit the earth means people who are self-sustaining. So, like, if you can grow your own garden, if you can, make your own food, and if you can live a life where you're not paying those convenience fees that a lot of us do. And if you think about it, I'm not just talking about like running to the gas station to grab a cup of coffee or a candy bar. I am talking about the convenience of having meals that are prepared for you and then packaged and sold in the grocery store. Being able to cook from scratch is going to be very lucrative in the fact that it will help you moving forward, being able to grow your own food, then prepare your own food and can your own food. Those sorts of things are going to be of great assistance to the collective. So you're being warned now. If you have the capability of being able to grow your own food, and if you, like, say you live in the city and you have an apartment, go ahead and find a community garden and start working that. There are things that we can do to circumvent some of the implications and ramifications of this stupid stinking war that whether it has a reason or not is up for debate, great debate, but we're having to deal with the fallout from it. So, hi. Anyway, um, my allergies have been going crazy lately. I don't know what's blossoming or sporting out there right now, but I've got a lot of junk. But anyway, I was talking with my friend about like what my next steps should be. And I needed something more than just, like a general reading that was a metaphor. Okay. So like if you have a specific career path that you've gone down and you're kind of being guided to change up something, you can write a couple of options for what your skill sets are, and you can put them on index cards and then shuffle and do your own very specific reading that way. Also, if you have like a laundry list of things that you need to do within your home, you can actually put that list of things on your cards, your index cards. Index cards are the bomb. You don't need pretty ones like this. You can just use regular old, pen and index card and make your own specific oracle for this. But let's say you have a laundry list of things that you need to do and you don't know where to start. You can put those on there. And it's kind of like drawing something out of a hat because it really doesn't matter where you start. But what you can do to kind of add a little extra zhuzh to it is while you're shuffling and while you're drawing your cards, you can ask Spirit. I've already got my two. Okay. I guess I have 4 things that Spirit wanted me to focus on today. And so I'll go ahead. Like what I did is when I shuffled and then I was pulling cards and I said, Spirit, what is the next step that you want me to take that would most efficiently help me get this laundry list of things that I have to get done? And right now, so I pulled tarot, and that's something that I have to do every day. It's not that I have to do, I have free will, but I love doing it. And I've been trying to post regularly. There may be a day or two where I don't get on here and am able to, do this, but I enjoy it so much that it's not really a hardship for me to go, oh, okay, so I'm starting my day off with this. So I've already got tarot done. because that's essentially what I'm doing here. Divination in general, I just use tarot as a blanket term, but tarot is different than like oracle cards and other forms of cartomancy. And then there are also a lot of different ways to divinate as well, like tea leaves, coffee leaves, wax readings, water scrying, fire scrying. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. If you give me a handful of rocks that you pick and I cast them on the table, I can give you a reading that way too. I mean, it's absolutely amazing how you can use divination with various different tools. So tarot is just one, but I use that as kind of a blanket term. Now, next, step work. And as you can see, I'm going to show you, this had a fairly thick list of things that I could have been doing. So step work is number 2. And as a person in recovery in a 12-step program, this is vital for me. I have to be touching upon my program every single day. It is part of my spiritual hygiene that I take care of regularly. If I don't, I can very easily justify picking up again. And I don't ever want to get to that point. Every single day I pray, Lord, keep me sober and clean today. Because it's very important to me, because I will lose literally everything I've worked so hard for with one drink. No joke. If you've been seasoned in recovery, you know this. If you're new in recovery, get that through your head. That is such an important concept. Because I know people who have 20, 30 years out there, they slack on this and sometimes go back out. Sometimes once they go back out, they don't come back in. They end up losing their lives over it. This is a fatal disease. We have to get that through our heads. So step work was number 2. Then I have do the dishes and clean the kitchen. And then I have set up my art studio. Okay. So those are the 4 things that I am to be working on today. Tarot, I'm taking care of that. My step work, excuse me. That might be something. Remember everything that happens in a reading. So obviously I've got some things that I have to say that I've got to get out of my body, and step work will be handy for that because I'm working on a 4th step right now. So step work is going to be happening this morning already. Then when I get home, I'm not doing any of this. And one of the tendencies that I have is if I don't like the answer that I get, yes, they all need to be done, but I will pick the preferred activity over the non-preferred activity. And I've got one of these in here that is a very heavy non-preferred activity. So my challenge is to not put it back in the deck and reshuffle, or leave it out of the deck. Even worse, leave it out of the deck and reshuffle and pick something else. Because this is what will actually help unlock what I need to get done. And it'll kind of act like that first domino. So if you think about it, when we have an energetic path laid out in front of us, we do have free will. Okay. But it's almost like what I'm seeing is the universe has laid out this beautiful pattern of dominoes, right? And if we follow the next right step, we tip over the very first step, the very first one, and then all of them cascade, okay, with a lot less effort than going to the middle to do a preferred activity when it's not yet time to do that. And yeah, it did need to be done, but only half of what's going to be revealed through the picture that's made with those dominoes. I don't know if you've seen those videos where they make pictures with the dominoes, but only half the picture is shown. And so you have to circle back and tip over the first one again anyway. So, I know that probably sounds really weird, but that is how spirit talks to me, is through visions. So tip over that first domino. And that's what I'm going to be doing today is, once I get home, I've gotten my tarot done. I've got my step work done. I'm going to be working on my kitchen. Once the kitchen's done, then I get to have a little bit of positive reinforcement and set up my art studio. Okay. Then once all of these are done, I can put, like step work and tarot, because these are regular, and then the dishes and kitchen, these are all regular things that I do, but I only have to set up my art studio once. So I can take this and pull it out and leave it out and put these back in the main deck and then reshuffle the next day. the thing that I did last night was this kind of circles back to what I was talking about before, was the fact that I was like, Spirit, how do you want me to be making ends meet while I'm getting my spiritual business launched? Because we don't know what the future holds and nothing is set in stone. And right now, everything is very topsy-turvy and kind of looking like it's going to go off a cliff. So right now, I was divinely guided to go back and take a new client for RBT. And then over the next 2 weeks, I asked, well, what do you want me to focus on for the next 2 weeks? Because I've got a lot of things I could be focusing on. Where do you want my focus to be going? Cleaning in general, because I just moved. So this will help me get more organized so that when I do address the other things, I am more efficient in getting that done. Okay. So that's kind of how, when I need a really personal reading, where my bias isn't as influential upon the reading, this is what I do. Now, there may be something in here that I'm not even thinking of, that a person who would give me a personal reading who's truly not biased and invested in my life as it is, other than the fact that I'm paying them for the service, they may pick up on that and say, actually, you need to be addressing this. So that's where personal readings can come in really, really handy. But right now, I'm not feeling the call that I need to get one, because this has satisfied the answers that I needed. Let me go ahead and pull, since I pulled the Angel Answers Oracle before, I'm going to go ahead and pull one card to wrap up the reading today. I know it wasn't kind of a reading, it was more of a how-to, but, I did more divination for myself to show you how I do it for myself, rather than, I'm being told I'm going to need the guidebook. Okay. But this is for you, to wrap up the reading. So, and remember, I've got my retreat, one bed left. And we're going to be doing so many fun things at that retreat. So I'm super excited about it. I'll leave the link in the description box. It's going to be at St. Simons, Georgia, June 5th, 6th, and 7th. And then also, if you need a personal reading from me, because you do feel so called, I will leave my email, which is trinity@esoteriallc.com, in the description box. All right. And if you're interested in the Conscious Contact class that I'm going to be hosting, you can email that same email and just let me know, hey, I'm interested in joining your Conscious Contact class. And I will get you set up for the class roster and send a Zoom link to you so that you can join us. I will be recording it, so if you can't make it to the scheduled time, you can always go back and watch the recording. All right. Spirit, what do we need to know just for today, please? What do we need to know just for today? Oh, all right. Be assertive. Assertive. Okay. Okay. So, all right. This situation calls for you to take matters into your own hands, which, that's kind of what I did with the tarot, didn't I? You must get clear on your personal feelings and then pursue the fulfillment of your desires with courage and self-confidence. Ask for what you need without watering down your request in order to satisfy others. Remember that seeing to your own needs is nothing to apologize for. Set boundaries with those around you in order to create a safe, fair environment. Tailor your actions so that you earn the respect from others that you deserve. Then move forward. Okay, so today is about action. So get off your butt, quit doom scrolling. And I'm looking at myself in the camera here. All right. If no one has told you today, know that I love you. Take care.